Chelsea 5, Charlton 1. Liam Rosenier's youth revolution starts now. And it was just nice to watch and enjoy a game of football for a change, wasn't it? Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stanford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And for the first time in what feels like forever since the Everton game, we get to talk about a win, but not only a win, we get to talk about an absolute trouncing. And yes, I will preface that with it was Charlton, a team we are expected to beat. But the reason I am just relieved and happy is we have faced many teams that we are expected to beat and either not got the result or made it look really, really difficult. But guys, before we get into the video, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so the lineup formation, kind of what you would have expected, even though it was Liam Rosenier's first game in charge. Rotation is going to be a thing, and even Enzo Maresca in these games was generally fielding quite heavily rotated teams, right? But there was more to it than that today. Everyone looked like they felt like they had a chance, right? So the lineup was interesting. It was Philip Jorgensen in goal, who, if rumours are to be believed, is now not going anywhere and may well see more chances under Rosenior. Right back, Josh Achiampong. Centre-back pairing of Tosin Adarabioyo and Benoit Badiashile. Yoro Hato at left-back, but we'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. Midfield pivot of Andre Santos, the prodigal son, and Moises Caicedo, who I think is actually suspended for the Arsenal game. Someone will have to remind me if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure that he's not available for the Arsenal game. Left wing, Alejandro Garnacho. Centre attacking midfield, Facundo Buonanotte, and we haven't seen him in a while either. Right wing, Jamie Gittens, and he had a great day today. And up top, Mark Yu gets the start. So I'm not gonna lie, right? It was only the first 2 minutes, yeah, but the first 2 minutes, I was like, oh no, it was like slow passing between the centre backs, and I was just like, oh no, it's here we go again. But at the end of the day, it was only really like that for the first few minutes. But the first half in general, Charlton made it difficult. They played one of the stodgiest, stinkiest low blocks we have seen all season, and 100% that's what you're going to expect. The good thing about today, ultimately, is not only did we overcome that low block, we absolutely smashed it. Definitely a lot of warming up going on in the first half. First half performances were interesting in general. If I were to single out anyone for poor performances, I would probably say Alejandro Garnacho and Benoit Badiashile. Benoit Badiashile didn't look amazing throughout the entire game, but he didn't cost us anything. Alejandro Garnacho looked like he was really struggling to get into the game. There were Facundo Buonanotte had like a mixed half for me in the first half as well. He kind of looked quite bright in moments, but also quite weak, and he was just getting pushed off the ball quite a lot as well. He didn't have the physicality to play the role that he was playing. Tactically, Yoro Hato was fascinating, right? Absolutely fascinating, because Yoro Hato started at left back, but played as an advanced 8. And I imagine that is kind of a prediction for probably what we're going to see from Marc Cucurella as well. But with Yoro Hato, it was really interesting because we've seen Yoro Hato play left centre-back and we've seen him play a bit of left-back, not much inverted into midfield and stuff. I expected maybe to see Yoro Hato inverting into the centre defensive midfield a little bit, but no, man, he was like essentially pairing Facundo Buonanotte as an attacking 8 almost, but also getting back, using his physicality to defend and stuff as well. Yoro Hato had an absolutely fantastic game, really, really good. Best game he's had in a Chelsea shirt, easily. And this is something that I've mentioned I've done a couple of live streams and a few videos about Liam Rosenior coming in recently. The one thing, and look, before... It's one game, do you know what I mean? But I'm thirsty for a good time as a Chelsea fan because it has been dry for a little while now, so let me have this moment. Yoro Hato is emblematic, I think, of what we might start seeing for a little while until things settling down. Everyone feels like they've got a new opportunity, and Liam Rosenior is going to give everyone a new chance, fresh slate, do you know what I mean? There might be some players he doesn't love their particular set of attributes or their profile or whatever, but as we saw today, and as we've been seeing also with Andre Santos, for instance, Andre Santos featured quite prominently under Callum McFarlane and played the full 90 today. Andre Santos was brilliant in this game, man. Really, really, really good. He played almost like he paired Moises Caicedo in that deep midfield and played a mix of like that kind of number 6, but he played it a little bit the way Romeo Lavia does as well. Like he was pulling the strings, man. His passing was really, really good, and he was not really getting forward a huge amount, but he was sprinting back when necessary, man. He was defending, he was pulling strings. Absolutely brilliant today. Jamie Gittins, man. Jamie Gittins. We've got to talk about Jamie Gittins. So Jamie Gittins looks like a man reborn. He is one of a few young players that have fallen out of favour with Chelsea fans and ultimately Enzo Maresca up until now, that looks like he's really going to try and take advantage of this new lease of life in the game that he's going to be given. He was tearing it up today, man. He was absolutely tearing it up. On the right-hand side as well, which was really interesting because he's not particularly strong with his left foot, but he was cutting in and he was taking shots and he was taking people on. A couple of step-overs here and there, but not like all of the time. Jamie Gittins easily looked like one of our most dangerous players in the first half. Mark Yu in the first half, to be fair, also didn't look great, but I attribute that a little bit more to the fact that the low block was so low. Do you know what I mean? It was such a low, stinky low block. And he struggled to get into the game because they were just cutting off all the passing lanes, and all of the potential service that he might have been getting was just getting, scrapped essentially. So he really struggled to get into the first half of the game. But as we will get into in a minute, in the second half, he came alive a little bit. So we get to the end of the first half. There was a medical break quite early in the match because unfortunately someone in the crowd required medical attention. So there was a couple of minutes where they kind of took a break. Liam Rosenior took everyone and kind of started giving a bit of direction and stuff. And it was like 6-7 minutes extra time at the end of the first half. Yoro Hato chose that moment to score an absolute screamer, mate. It was a wicked goal, man. A volley, and he launched it from, it must have been like 15, 20 yards out, something like that. I'm not very good with the yards, but it was a pretty good long-range goal, do you know what I mean? And to see Yoro Hato come in after everything that's gone on, rumours that he wants to go back to Ajax are interested in him obviously thinking, why have I come here? Because I'm getting 0 game time. And in his first start under Liam Rosenior, he plays a new position, gets an absolutely brilliant goal. But he also, before they scored that goal, he was also responsible for our best chance. Absolutely beautiful floated cross from the right-hand side over from Facundo Buonanotte. Got his head on it, not quite clean enough to get it in the goal, but it was probably the best attacking threat we had in the first half as well. So then we move into the second half and things just start kicking off, man. Facundo Buonanotte looked like he struggled a bit in the first half. Like I said, that floated cross was lovely, but he took a corner and it literally went. It was a great free kick. I think it was a free kick. It was a free kick. It was a free kick. And he basically beautiful straight onto the head of Tosin Adarabioyo, who banged it in first time of asking. And again, not just because of the goal, Tosin Adarabioyo looked very different from the Tosin Adarabioyo we've been seeing of late. Like I say, but Badiashile definitely still looked a little bit like, I'm not really sure. But Tosin Adarabioyo, man, he looked great today. 100%. He looked really, really, really good. So now we've got 2 goals. It's 2-0, and the game, looks pretty wrapped up. Then Charlton get one back. Charlton actually got one back, and it was a weird one. So Charlton got a corner. No, sorry, it wasn't a corner. There was so much happened in this game. But basically, there was a shot taken, and Jorgensen made a great save for it. Actually, Jorgensen made a really, really good save for this. But unfortunately, he didn't get it quite far out enough, and there were no defenders around him at the time. So I can't remember the guy's name, but they had a massive striker who spent 7 years in the Chelsea Academy. He just happened to be there for the rebound and got the goal. So all of a sudden, it's a game again. Now, I don't really think that was down to Jorgensen because he actually made a wicked save just before it. Ultimately, if we're going to put the blame on anything, it's the defensive positioning probably could have been a little bit better for that goal because there was absolutely no one there to try and intercept or mop up that rebound, sorry. So, like I say, it's 2-1. All of a sudden, it's a game again. But then comes Mark Yu with basically a rebound of his own, and I was absolutely ecstatic to see Mark Yu get a goal. And you could see how much it meant to him. This was another huge thing as well. So we've got Yoro Hato scoring a goal. We've got Tosin Adarabioyo scoring a goal. We've got Mark Yu scoring a goal. 3 redemption stories already. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. There were some changes later in the game, and Esteval came on and just looked electric. He was unfortunate not to get anything out of it. It was one of those things, man. Like, as soon as Esteval came on, it was the first time I really just saw the levels of difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, Esteval was so much more talented than anyone else on the pitch when he came on. It was absolutely ridiculous. He was cutting them open, man. He looked so good. And I hope he's given freedom and confidence from Liam Rosenior, because he needs to keep growing. And like, he didn't get anything out of the game today, but at the same time, like, he just looked absolutely brilliant, man. And then a couple more subs. Liam Delap comes on for Mark Yu, and Facundo Buonanotte gets changed out for Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez and Esteval Willian were linking up beautifully on that right-hand side. And instantly, as soon as some of our more senior players came on, like I said with Esteval when he came on, you just started to see the difference in the levels. Facundo Buonanotte did a reasonably good job, got his assist, couple of really nice moments, but as soon as Enzo Fernandez came on, it was like, right, okay, this is what it should look like, man. At the end of the day, one of my massive frustrations with watching Chelsea recently has been largely to do with we are making games that we should be winning look difficult or not pulling points away from them. At the end of the day, like, you know, I will temper again all of this with, yes, it was Charlton, championship team. We are 100% expected to beat Charlton. But the reason this is refreshing is because we were expected to beat Leeds. Do you know what I mean? And that's just one example, but we made them look like Real Madrid. So... And then just to finish the kind of review of the match, Pedro Neto comes on and gets just a really quick out of nowhere, kind of just bangs it in on his right foot from the left-hand side. Really, really impressive. People have been, and myself a little bit as well, I've not been going in too hard on Pedro Neto because he's definitely been one of our better players this season. But Pedro Neto's had a really rough couple of games. Last 3-4 games, Pedro Neto's not looked very good at all. And obviously towards the end of the game, Enzo Fernandez, we get the penalty. Enzo Fernandez puts it away. Bob's your uncle, 5-1. Absolutely love it. Having some of our first teamers on and scoring those 2 goals in you know, ultimately quite a small section of the game, and getting those 3 goals before that with a bunch of players who have, some of which have barely set foot on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Facundo Buonanotte's really struggled to get game time. Yara Hato's really struggled to get game time. Jamie Gittins has been getting opportunities, but not really making the best of them. I just saw so much potential again today. And ultimately, I say that, one of the things that Liam Rosenior said in his first press conference, it 100% rings true. It's all fine and good having potential, but you need to go out there and do it. Do you know what I mean? We can't just be a team with potential. We have to show that potential and start winning. So, look, like I say, Charlton, first game in charge, new manager bounce. There's, you know, going to be a vibe around the club at the moment where everyone is like, I can make the best of this opportunity. Maybe things change in a little while, I don't know. But it was just so refreshing, man. I'm going to use that. I've used that word a couple of times already. It was so refreshing to see such a dominant performance, albeit against a team we were expected to dominate against. I 100% agree with that. But the thing is, man, our team is made up of youngsters. That's just how it is. Now, there were more chants against Igbali. Quite a funny one, actually. I won't repeat it on here, but it was quite a funny chant against Igbali at the end of the game, albeit we were winning. I respect that because that's something I've mentioned recently. If we're going to, you know, if guys are going to protest and if they're going to make their voices heard, you have to do it when we're winning as well. And they 100% did that. So fair play to them for that. So regardless of the chance that we're going against Igbali, we will see what happens with that in the future. Do you know what I mean? Whether that makes any changes, whether Blueco decide to make some changes, whether it be to the model or the construction of the corporation, I don't know. We will 100% see what happens. But as it is right now, we have a team full of young players. Enzo Maresca, I think, was not willing to give chances to these youngsters and give opportunities to these youngsters. So that is, I think, an instant difference we're going to see. And we saw it tonight, man. Do you know what I mean? He gave opportunities to players that haven't been getting a lot of game time and haven't been playing very well either, and they took it, and that is so important. So I feel good about the Arsenal game, man. I feel good about the Arsenal game. You know, it's going to be a tough game. League leaders, they are, 17 points in front of us in the Premier League at this point, but evidently we're still looking like a decent cup team. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's the best we can hope for the rest of the season. I still think Champions League is well within our reach. I think today, like I say, yes, it was a championship team, but ultimately, like, that's the kind of performance that you expect against a team of the level of the difference. Do you know what I mean? There's 31 places in between Chelsea and Charlton at the moment. 5-1 is what we should see. Do you know what I mean? It's 100% what we should see. So I hope we start seeing some more results that we should see. And we gave Arsenal a really hard time last time. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if we can keep 10 men on the pitch, or 11 men on the pitch, to 10 outfielders on the pitch, then I think we can go into the Arsenal game with some hope and some courage. And I think, you know, Cole Palmer's going to be fit and ready. Wesley Fofana's, you know, he got a little bit of game time today. He's going to be fit and ready. We're going to miss Moises Caicedo, but Reece James has done a pretty good job in midfield, and also particularly against Arsenal when we were a man down. Reece James did an amazing job. I think Esteval might possibly get the start. I don't know. Pedro Neto did just score a goal though, so at the same time, it's it's a difficult one. But shout out to Liam Delap as well. Liam Delap is definitely starting to look better. He looked less boisterous and a bit more focused today. That's really good. I will be interested to see if Delap is Liam Rosenier's choice of starting striker. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see what happens with João Pedro, purely because João Pedro is such a versatile player that he plays in the 9 OK and the 10 OK, but is Liam Rosenior going to defer to a player in that position who has more of that striker's instinct? Again, didn't get anything out of the game today, but looked pretty good. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, man. So guys, we're here. The Endo Maresca era is over and the Liam Rosenior era is just beginning. What did you guys think of the game today? I think Yoro Hato's goal was absolutely brilliant. I think Moises Caicedo played really well as well. Do you know what I mean? I think that everyone kind of across the pitch, for the most part, played really well. Garnacho, maybe the lowest rated player on the pitch. He looks like, he looked brighter and better in the second half, but ultimately he was outshone by the likes of Jamie Gittins, Yoro Hato, Mark Gu. Do you know what I mean? Mark Gu. Is this a new opportunity for Mark Gu now? Is Mark Gu going to get more opportunities? Do we see more of João Pedro in the number 10, for instance, or playing more of an attacking midfield role? And now Mark Gu becomes the de facto number 2 because he's got more similar properties to Liam Delap. Really, loads of questions, man. I would absolutely love to know what you guys think about it. Like I say, I've said it quite a few times, but I'm going to say it once more. Yes, I know this was against Charlton, but you got to give me this, man. You got to give me this. The last few weeks as a Chelsea fan have been rough, and we have all spent so much time talking about the politics of everything. It was just really, really nice to watch a game of football and be invested properly in the team again without all of this other noise going on. And look, like I say, man, the fans in the stadium, they made themselves known at the end of the day, and that's cool. Do you know what I mean? Fair play to them with the Egbali shouts. I 100% do want to see change. I don't think we can carry on. I don't think we're going to be able to consistently challenge for the highest honours unless we start thinking about bringing some experience into the team. There was a little news story come out today that said Trevor Chalobah is constantly talking to Antonio Rudiger, trying to convince him to come back and stuff like that. I think that there's a few moves. We don't have to change our entire model, but in order to solidify the team and shore us up, I think it would be a really smart move to go in for some experience. I am not hugely confident about the idea that protests or no, that Blueco are going to leave in the near future. I think that we won't see that for the next few years at least. But what I do hope is that all of this pressure that's being put on them at the very least can make some change. But either way, if Liam Rosenior can get results, even while all of that's going on, at least we can enjoy watching some football. And I don't know about you guys, but ultimately that is what I am here for. Nice one, guys. I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end. If you did, I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.